Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody. I'm wishing all of you a happy, wonderful, beautiful weekend. For some of us who are very lucky, we get to start the weekend on Thursdays. Happy weekend to you all. The reason why I'm doing this live this morning is to invite all of you Haitians with good common sense to shut down these destructive Haitians. Shut them down. Shut down these destructive Haitians. They are destroying our potential to create businesses together, to create big businesses, not just ti bric a brac, ti boîte à boîte. These Haitians, with their gossip, with their continuous zin, they are killing our community. And I'm asking you to shut these Haitians down. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you proof why you need to shut these Haitians down. One of my greatest asset is the experiences of others. I use the experiences of others to learn a lot. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you. I'm very happy this morning. I'm in great spirit. I am thankful. I'm joyful. But at the same time, there is a certain sadness that doesn't belong to me. That particular sadness belongs to the Haitian community. That particular sadness belongs to the African American community. Because when I look at the patterns, when I look at the life that the African American community just had in the last 50 years, and I look at how the African American people, the mass of the people, have destroyed themselves. And I look at how the African American leaders, especially the most popular African American leaders, and I look at how they have led their own people into destruction, how they have compromised and destroyed their own people for their own personal gains. It is never for the profit of the community. It is always for their own personal gains. When I look at the African American community and the distractions that they have adopted to destroy each other, they destroy each other through the distraction. Sometimes they call it art, sometimes they call it music, sometimes they call it entertainment, but it's always for the destruction of each other. And then I look at Haitians, and then we are starting the same patterns. And I'm saying to myself, why can't you look at the African American community and see what they're going through, what they've been going through? Why can't you look at them as a reason to learn, as a learning moment, as an experience? You don't need to have this experience. You should be thankful they have had this experience for you. You don't need to relive the destruction of yourself or the destruction of someone else through you. We need to shut down those Haitians. We cannot let them take profile just like the African Americans did. We can't let these individuals act like popular leaders and allow them to destroy our community. That's not what we are about. I'm living right now in Gwinnett County, and Gwinnett County is a county of immigrants. I am not kidding you. This is where the real Americans flourish, honey. This is the county, Georgia. The reason why I love to live in Georgia, because Georgia is a real American state. And it doesn't matter what color you are. I have a very fond affection. I have very fond regards for Georgians as I describe myself as Georgian as well. You see, I am where I am. as Haitians, if we want to continue to hold our self-respect and hold the quality of our ancestry, of our bloodline, of our worth, if we want to continue to hold that, to have ownership of that, we have to shut down those gossiping Haitians. They are destroying our communities. They are destroying the communal bond that we share with one another. They are destroying the trust that we should have with one another. And as I was giving an example of Gwinnett County, when you go to the Koreans, you see the Koreans, sometimes they have a whole plaza, a mini mall. All of the plaza is owned by Koreans together. For them to be able to own that together, they had to trust each other. There was no zen. There was no he say, she say. People were honest. People were too busy working. And so for the people who keep going forth and back and forth with the zen, we need to shut them down. You have to make a decision to stop clicking these folks, to stop watching these folks. These are mentally ill people. I don't even know if they're not CIA members that are sent to destroy our communities, because you got to look at the experiences of the African American people when it comes to dealing with institutions. These institutions will send CIA members to your community, your own Haitian, your own neighbor, your own next door neighbor's son will become a CIA member. They will have big groups. They will have popularity because Facebook will allow you to see their clicks and see their posts more than everybody else. It will be a systematic hell for our community to live this virtual systematic hell. We don't know where these people are coming from. We don't know what their intentions are. All we know is what their actions tell us. Their actions tell us they are not on our side. Their actions tell us they are not on the side of Union fait la force. C'est chaque jour gon indifférent. It's every day. It's a different drama. It's a different distraction, and we can learn. Let us learn from our African American brothers and sisters. Whether or not they deem right or wrong, let us learn from their experience on how they have destroyed their own selves, how their leaders compromised them. It was the leaders who sold the people. It wasn't the people who sold themselves. It wasn't the people who took themselves and sold themselves. It was the leaders who sold the people. And when the leaders sold the people, the leaders got rewards. The leaders got awards. The leaders got big movie parts. The leaders got big music deals. The leaders got big money deals. The leaders got big TV appearances. The leaders got big churches. The leaders got crowns. They got NAACP, they got the Martin Luther King, they got the Farrakhan, they got the Jesse Jackson, they got the Al Sharpton, they got all of them, even the new ones, Dr. Umar, they got all of them. They are the same type of leaderships, and they all take their own communities into despair. And this is what we are seeing happening with the Haitian community, and we got to shut these third world niggas down. These are third world niggas. They are worthless, quattrocore descended niggas. We got to let these mentally frivolous, mentally incapable, mental defectives, we got to give them retourner côté nos soutiens. Let's cast these negative energy, these evil beings, let's cast them back into hell where they came from. We don't have any room in this community. This community is going down. You don't understand, people. You do not understand what happens when a community is no longer able to trust one another. Where is the respect of that community? Where is the respect of the Haitian community that the Haitians are betraying each other so much? You people do not understand. Look what just happened in Miami like 2 years ago. I think it was like 2-3 years ago when this Haitian woman, Lucy, when Lucy won the mayorship in Miami. It was Haitians who got together with Caucasians and other mafias in Miami to take Lucy down. We don't care. People like me, Haitians like me, we don't care if Lucy was a thief, Martin Luther King was a thief, Farrakhan is still thieving. If all the leaders thief, But what we did care about was to have a thief in the representation among all the other thieves. We wanted to have our own thief. We know Lucy may have allegedly been a thief. So if Lucy was allegedly a thief, then Lucy would have been in the company of people just like her. And we wanted Lucy to be there with the other thief so that we would have representation among the thieves. But it was Haitians who got together with Miami Mafia, Miami foreigners, Miami immigrants. It was Haitians who got together and took down Lucy. And when they thought they would be called back to get the mayorship, but it was somebody else who was given this power. Okay, the way that we do gossip, zin, 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 zin. We need to shut down those Zen makers. We need to shut down those people who are always propagating the lies with each other. They're destroying the community energy. We need to shut them down. And if we don't shut them down, already we are seeing the result of their destruction. Because instead of you paying attention to what's really happening in your country, it's the Zen. And this is what we saw happen to the African American community. Instead of them paying attention to their own property, and I'm telling you, this is the truth. This is the truth. The African American community, when you look at the divisions, the first divisions of the African American community are all these other people who are coming into the African American community pretending they are African Americans. Do you understand, me personally, when I was growing up as a young girl, do you understand how many people I thought were African Americans, but they were from Barbados, they were from Jamaica, and they were pretending to be Yankees, and they were participating in the destruction of these people. So the first thing we have to do is to understand, when you pretend to be an African American and you participate in their destruction, you know better than a Judas. You know, at that moment, you don't represent the country where you come from, and you don't represent your status in the Americas. You deny your status in the Americas, because we know this Americas was mine. And when I say mine, I don't mean Lahini Pierre's Americas. I mean the bloodline, my ancestral lineage. That's what I mean. Okay, we know it was mine before it was all of these immigrants coming from Europe, coming from all over the place. So you as a Haitian, you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to yourself. You have a responsibility to the Americas. And I'm telling you the truth. Look what happened to these African Americans, how they lost their properties. And one of the top reasons they lost it was because of other blacks coming to compromise. Not only was it other blacks coming to compromise, it was their own leadership making alliance with their own enemies. Imagine if you're supposed to be an African American leader for the African American people, but you're not giving them their own rights. You're telling them, come share this plate of food. Me, I have children. I never ask my children to share. Once you start sharing with somebody, you begin to have gauger. Somebody wants more. Somebody gonna have less. Sharing is not the best solution. Sometimes you need to have a little bit of your own. Maybe you need to share on a smaller scale. Maybe these leaders, since we are saying these leaders were so good, what did they do that was so great? Because they left a plate with a little bit of food in it, and they ask all these people to share it. So we have to rethink about these people who are supposed to be popular, Haitians. Shut them down. Shut them down. They're just bringing distractions. They're not bringing anything good. Look what happened. I'm going to finish telling you what happened to the African American people in their land. This is a story about their land. Okay? If you don't have a piece of land, you don't have much at all. Like my grandmother say, you turn into a juif errant, you turn into a Aryan Jew. Okay, the Aryan Jew was always in existence. This is not the 21st century is old news. The Aryan Jew has been running without a home for over 20,000 years. Don't get yourself fooled. Okay, these people have been committing to atrocities against their own selves. That's why they don't have territory. If you don't, look what the Europeans, look what the white people are doing just to get a piece of land. Oh my God, did you see what just happened in South Africa? I'm going to continue with the African American story, but let me jump into the South African story real quick. That's called a segue. Look what's happening to the South Africans right now, people. Don't forget the land in South Africa is also revolting. You have to also look what's happening with Mother Nature. The land is cracking up. The land is shaking. The sea is sending waves 50 feet up in the air. We have to watch what Mother Nature is doing. And then while Mother Nature is doing that, the people are saying, give us back our land. The people in South Africa, they voted. They told the European nigger, go back to the Dutch land. Go back to the Dutch land. We don't need you here. You have destroyed our community. If I could speak like a South African for a minute, I would say to you, you have destroyed our community. It's time for you to go back to your country. But it's the truth. It's a little bit of humor, but it's the truth. The South African recently passed declaration asking the white men from the Dutch land to go back. And the South African is taking all this land. Imagine all the land, all the farming land in South Africa. All the food, all the industry, all the business belongs to foreigners. White people who came out of nowhere and who invaded these people's privacy, who killed and tortured and murdered and massacred and terrorized these people and took what belonged to them and took what belonged to their ancestors. Imagine this is how these white people got that land, and it wasn't a long time ago. It's not like it was, even if it was 1,000 years ago, even if it was 1,000 years ago, if it's your blood rights, if it's your geographical rights, if it's your genealogical, that's the word, rights, then it belongs to you. You cannot let some bird come in the wilderness to beat up the pigeon while the pigeon is resting in its cage. It doesn't happen that way because it's not a wild pigeon at that moment. It's resting in its cage. So you're looking at the South African right now. The South African is saying, we want our land back. And the South African people are saying to these white people, these Dutch people, go back, give us our land. And Mother Nature is turning. Mother Nature is opening that land. Mother Nature is revolting. You got to pay attention to what's happening around the world. The world has an energy of newness. The world has an energy of truth. The world is having an energy of rebirth, rejuvenation. You cannot allow yourself to fall deeper into darkness. You cannot allow yourself to go into somebody's anus. Because we are living the time of lightness, not darkness. Come out of the vagina. Don't go into the anus. Come into the lightness. Don't go back into the darkness. It's very simple. Mother Nature will tell you her order. You cannot become the type of human like a European and deny Mother Nature her right to colorize things. Look at the leaves outside this wilderness that is my backyard. Some of them are green, some of them are brownish, some of them are orangish, yellowish. Am I to say this color matters more over that color? No, those are the colors signifying Mother Nature's changes. On the same scale of topic, let's return back to our African American brothers and sisters. I want to show you how you Haitians need to shut down those third world Haitian niggas. Shut them down. They are not going to do anything for you. The only thing they're going to do for you is the same thing that these African American leaders did to the African American communities. They destroyed these people, their own black folks. And then those Haitians are behaving in the same way. These are the ghetto fabulous third world niggas. Let's shut them down. Let's shut down these ghetto superstars. We know who they are. We know who they are. Let's shut them down. Good morning, everybody. I thank my ancestors for inspiring me daily, for inspiring me, for picking me up, for allowing me to look at another human and say, hey, I'm a human just like you. I thank my ancestors for giving me different lens to look through. When I look at the world, I'm wearing the glasses, I'm wearing the sunglasses. They're not Prada, they're not Gucci, but they belong to my ancestors. And because I can see through their sunglasses, because I can see through their prescribed lens, I am blessed. I'm inviting Haitians like me to stand up and shut down these miserable Haitians. And let me tell you something, and I will continue the African American story, but I got to tell you, the child of a tiger is not a roach. The child of a tiger is not a goat. The child of a tiger is a tiger. It's about time that those Haitians who think they are so fly and sophisticated, it's about time that they take responsibility for the crap that they send to us, the community. I'm not gonna take crap from you just cause you famous. I'm not gonna take the destruction, déchets toxiques qui sont la caillou just cause you famous. You're gonna keep your own déchets toxiques. You're gonna take your own destruction in your own family. You're going to contend that destruction to yourself, but you're not going to let it loose to destroy the community. You're going to take hold and responsibility of your destruction. We're not going to take the destructions of Haitians because they are famous, because they are popular. What is a famous Haitian? A famous Haitian doesn't even have $1 billion. A famous Haitian doesn't even have a couple of meals. All you have is the affection of the people. And I'm asking the people to take back their affection. A famous Haitian doesn't have money like that. You don't got a bag to compromise the people. You don't got a bag to traitor the people. You don't got a bag to treason the people. I just used these two as a verb. I know I did. You don't got a bag to traitor the people. You don't got a bag to treason the people. All you have is the affection of the people. If the people hold you in high regard, you better take it around like it's money to the bank. But the minute you start allowing the seeds of your womb, the seeds of your blood to come into our community, to destroy our community, we will shut you down. We will shut them down. It's time that we shut down those third world niggas. Shut them down. Walking around acting like their shit don't stink, but we see what's coming out of your house. The child of a tiger is not a donkey. The child of a tiger is a tiger. Petit tigre, c'est tigre. When we see these Haitians and we see their children bringing destruction to our community, we're going to judge your children. We're going to judge you too. It's time we shut down the Zen. It's time we shut down all those distractions that are destroying our communities. Not only is the Zen destroying the community, the Zen is destroying community trust. The Zen is destroying the unity that we should have together to be able to build together. As I was saying, when you come to Gwinnett County, okay, you go to Medlock, what is it, Medlock Bridge, around that area, it's all Pakistani. Some of these subdivisions you walk into, you will not be able to buy, you will not be able to rent, you will not be able to overnight stay because it's all Pakistani people. They're getting along and they're respecting each other's spaces. I need my Haitian people to go back to that moment when we used to get along and we used to respect each other's spaces, when we used to get together and build businesses, when we used to get together and make communal decisions, when we used to get together and make national decisions. Right now, we cannot even mener bouic la ville together. We cannot even do that together any longer because we have the groups. WhatsApp group, Facebook group, those groups are becoming destructive elements because you think that's entertainment. I need you to mature and I need you to find a better form of entertainment. That's why you have valuable artists who produce valuable art, but instead of supporting valuable artists with their valuable art, you prefer to take the trash and uplift the trash and allow the trash to destroy our community. That's why I'm asking you to shut these third world niggas down. Shut them down. Shut them down. We don't need that kind of energy in our community. We don't need it. I'm going to show you how the distraction already destroyed the African American community. When you look at the African American leaders, they are always bringing distraction to the African Americans. It's always a bunch of slogans. It's always a bunch of songs, music. Even the art is corrupted to distract the people away from the real value of their life. The real value of your life is your territory, your land. The real value of your life is making sure that you can leave that wealth that you got for your children after your children. So your children after your children don't have to go steal land like the Europeans are doing all over the world. Because the Europeans begot nothing. And then they don't even value their land because, as you can see, the Europeans are just waiting to make themselves present all over the world because their land cannot be cultivated. It's ice. So unless that, maybe that's why they want global warming, because they want to melt all that ice and turn it into valuable land. I don't know if they're waiting for the pole to shift. I don't know what they are waiting for. It's very hard to read the minds of crazy people. It's very hard. But what I do know that we have a community, we have a country. Okay, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to continue with the example. While the African American leaders were giving the African American people distraction, do you know what the number one distraction that the African American leaders gave to the African American people? The pursuit of racism. The pursuit of racism. How can you judge people based on their race? Especially in this day of time. I used to hang out in a certain particular place here in Atlanta. And the West African bitch would be sitting right across from you. And she pull out a little tube and she start rubbing it in her knuckles. She's bleaching right in front of you. She's changing her color. So how can color be a factor where we can judge each other? It's not a substantial factor that can last and that can stand against the pressures of Mother Nature and the pressures of time. It cannot last. It cannot be proven with logic. It cannot last. It may be able to last 50 years. You can use race to sustain a lie for 50 years, but race cannot sustain the logic of life, the jurisdiction of our actions. It cannot sustain it for centuries and centuries. It cannot measure. So that's the first distraction that these African American leaders gave to the African American people. It was racism. And now Haitians are doing that. Haitians are calling each other racist. Haitians are falling into the game of racism. It's a distraction because guess what? You need to focus on your development as a community. How can you focus on your development as a community when you have all these people who say they are popular, and you can see they are popular because you have thousands and thousands of Haitians clicking, liking, watching, assisting the destruction. You are assisting the destruction. You are aiding the destruction. You are giving the destruction strength. You are giving popularity. You are giving it everything. And then when the destruction eats you, and when the destruction destroys your community, it's distraction. Is it still distraction? Because it's destruction. These Haitians, they are enemies of progress, enemies of communal progress, enemies of national progress. What can we do with each other when all we're focusing on is ze? So the African American leaders, they didn't tell the African Americans to watch out for your land. Keep your land. Imagine a place like I'm living in Georgia, and I love Georgia because this is also the place of my ancestors built. Imagine all these African Americans who are from Georgia. All, if not 95%, I would say if not 90 to 95%, a big mass of those African Americans, they had land. They had property. They had land. What happened to all that land? What happened to all the land that African Americans used to own in the US? Where is the land? You can't blame me because you didn't keep that land. Where were the leaders who are encouraging you to keep that land? Good morning, everybody. You are watching the sun rising over Decula. It's a beautiful sight that as I'm speaking, the Queen's son is coming out to salute the Queen of Haiti. I am the Queen of Haiti. Je suis la reine d'Haïti. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for listening. This morning, I bring a message to you to shut down the Haitians who are destroying our community. And what I mean by that, I mean the Haitians who are bringing the zin. Just because you get distracted, just because you laugh for 1 hour, it's not worth the damage that it does forever. Just because somebody made you laugh for 1 hour, you're going to let them destroy a community forever? Just because you are so sad that you needed somebody to make you laugh, you couldn't make yourself laugh? You couldn't make yourself happy because guess what? You are Haitian, you're a third world nigger at that moment. You go into work, you work in 12 hours, you come from work, you eat the dîner à ce soir, you sit down and you watch the third world niggers entertain you and make you laugh, and you think it's okay. You forget, c'est un grien dent y habillé les morts. C'est un grien dent y habillé les moines, je veux dire. You forget it was while everybody was laughing that they gave the moine this horrible outfit. Everybody was laughing. When you're laughing, your guards are down. Have you ever seen anybody fight while they're laughing? Laughter is one of the most ridiculous ways for you to corrupt yourself. You corrupt your own self while you're laughing. You tell yourself that this is okay. You allow yourself to forgive destructive behaviors through laughter. Laughter, you got to be able to control what you laugh about. And if you laugh about something that is so horrible, you have to be able to control yourself and say, okay, get back to your common sense. Go back to your bon sense. Because you finish laughing, let's look at the reality now. But if we are counting on those destructive people to make us laugh, that means you're sad. You are more sad than they are. Because you don't have any other ways to make yourself laugh but these destructive individuals. That's it. Those are the comedians of our communities. What happened to all the talented Haitians? You deny them. Because it's a mental effort for you to pay attention to quality stuff. You would rather pay attention to the rubbish. You'd rather pay attention to the garbage. Gabish. C'est gabish non reme. So in that moment, I'm asking Haitians like me, because I know not all Haitians are like me. I know that right now, the Haitian community is under destruction and a lot of Haitians have already turned third world nigger. I know that to be a fact. But I know that there are so many Haitians just like me. They may not speak out loud like I do, because the Haitians who are like me, they are more conservatives. They will not speak out loud. They will never speak. So that's why I have to speak, because I know I speak for a great amount of Haitians. The Haitians who are like me are more numerous than the destructive Haitians. We are more numerous. The Haitians who respect ourselves. The Haitians who respect our community. There are more of us than the trash. There are more of us than the negativity. We got to stand up and shut them down. We have to shut them down. We have to make a mental note to shut them down, and we have to learn. We don't forget that we got to learn from the African American people. We got to learn from them, and I'm going to finish my example. What did the African American leaders bring to the African American people? It was racism. The biggest distraction, the biggest form of rubbish. But they took that and they brought it to the mass and they created it just like you create a zombie. It's like you go to the cemetery and you wake up this zombie and you slap the life into it and you bring it to terrorize your own people. You bring it to terrorize your own community and you call it a human. But it's a zombie. It's not a human. It's a phantom. It's not real. So what could the African American leaders have done? What they could have done is they could have been asking the people, the mass, to focus on the land. When you look at a place like Georgia, and you look at all these African Americans, they used to own acres and acres and acres and acres of land. Where did all that land go? Haitian tandem. The same way that you own Haiti today, in 20 years, you're going to be asking yourself, where did Haiti go? Because you got fake leaders, just like the African Americans got fake leaders. The fake leaders got the same training. It's the same system that is creating those leaders. They're creating African leaders. They're creating Haitian leaders. They're creating Jamaican leaders. They're creating African American leaders. We're Haitians like me. We stand up and we ask you, shut these fake leaders down. These fake popular people. We don't believe you. We don't believe in your sincerity. We don't believe in you belle flèche sans odeur. We don't believe in your gimmicks, because we can see the same school. These people go to the same school that these African American leaders went to. The Haitian leaders just graduated from that same school, and they are coming to destroy you. At the end of the day, you will not have your land. You will not have your country. Let me continue. The example I'm using, the African American community and their land. I have to say the reason why I'm using this as an example is because it hurts me that I have to see right now in the 21st century how African Americans have lost their land. It hurts me more than it hurts them. Because they don't act like they know the value of their land. The African American leaders, when you look at a guy like Bill Cosby, what was Bill Cosby preaching? Bill Cosby ruined a whole fucking generation. Bill Cosby ruined a whole fucking generation. Because why? Because Bill Cosby was telling you, go away to college. Bill Cosby ruined me in a way too. Because I listened to him. Instead of Bill Cosby telling you, stay home and help keep your family wealth and help keep your family land, Bill Cosby was asking those young African American boys and girls to leave. That's how it began. That's how the massive loss happened in the last 50 years. Where all these children of these African Americans, they left. They left Georgia. They went to Washington, D.C. They went to L.A. They went to New York. And what happened to the land? There was nobody there. And when they all left, you know what the white niggas did? They grabbed that land. They sent you a tax bill. They said, you owe me. You owe me a lot of tax. You got to pay me that tax. I'm going to put a lien on your land. I'm going to put a lien on your house. Because why? Because the children were not there to reinforce the value of that land. The children left because the leaders were asking the children to leave. The leaders were selling your children. Now you have your children serving other people, but they're not serving you. And that is what we, the Haitian people, that is what we're doing right now. We want our children to go service other cultures, other people. Our children they're going to be big. They're going to be major. The more our children get focused in the mainstream media, the better we feel about ourselves because we are accepted in the public eyes. The public can see Haitians everywhere. That's a good thing, but it's a bad thing for us because we don't have Haitians caring for Haiti. The Haitians who are in Haiti, they don't want you coming back to Haiti. Listen, I know my positions when I deal with Haitians in Haiti. I know my positions with you. You don't want me coming back in Haiti. Because if I come back to Haiti for you, you see me as a competition because you cannot do the alliance that you do with the white niggas. You can't do it when somebody like me is on Haiti soil. When somebody like me is on Haiti soil, I can tell the people, don't do it, don't approve it, deny it. You don't want me talking to my people because you want to be the people talking to your people. Telling them the wrong things, negating their future, negating the youth. That's what you want. You want autonomy over the people. That's why you have all these different WhatsApp groups. All these different WhatsApp groups, all these people. Those are the children, the families of the famous Haitians, the popular Haitians we worship. That's their bloodline. That's what they're sending to you as a community. Okay, imagine, like we the Haitians, we have ways of judging life. We don't judge life by race, by racism. We judge life by family. Your family bloodline, your family lineage, your family, that's how we judge you. So I'm going to give you a perfect example. A perfect example. Look at a woman like Carol Demisme. I used to look at Carol Demisme as if this is somebody I could appreciate, but then I have to look at her in her essence. Yes, she looked good, but look at her bloodline. Petit tig said, tig, nobody's going to lie to me. If you allow your bloodline to destroy the community, how good are you? Look at Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton is destroying all over the world. So am I just supposed to look at Chelsea and say, look at this good kid? I don't care how nice Chelsea looks. I'm going to look at Bill Clinton and I'm going to say, you come from a bad tree. It's not just as si pied mango. Oh, gardons bel pied mango. Femme goûter mango a pour me connaître son bon pied mango lié vraiment. I'm not going to give you credit and say, look at this beautiful mango. We have been giving these people too much credit. We have been giving these people too much credit. We got to look at these people's blood. We have to look at their actions toward the community. And we have to shut these people down. We're giving these people credit just like African Americans, they give Oprah credit. African Americans, they give Farrakhan credit. So, when all these families, when all these black families, they were losing acres and acres of land in Georgia, Oprah didn't have enough money to come and pay the tax lien. Oprah didn't have enough money to come and pay the tax lien for all these families who lost so much land in Georgia. And I'm just talking about Georgia. I didn't even speak about Louisiana yet. We're just talking about the state of African Americanhood in Georgia. When you look in the city of Atlanta, you see a bunch of little boys wearing bow tie, dressed to the T. Little boys who should be home, helping their mothers. Little boys who should be home, helping their families. But guess what? They want to serve other men. They want to lick other men's penis. They want to lick other men's anus. They're not interested in helping their mothers. And if you tell them, go help your mother, Stop licking another man's booty. You know what they say? They say you're homophobic. This has nothing to do with homophobia. This has to do with your function in your family, your role as a man to your mother, to your sisters, to your children, or anything else that you develop. But we see the distractions that the African Americans adopt. They adopt the distractions because when it's time that they're destroying themselves, they don't want you to say, hold up. Look at all these young boys in Atlanta, and they all saying, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a realtor. You should come to Atlanta, dog. It's so many young boys, and I call them young boys because they don't act like men. They don't even know their true responsibility, their true bloodline, lineage responsibility. So how can I call them men? How can I give them credit they have not earned? Good morning to everybody. This morning, I'm asking Haitians like me, because the Haitians like me, we are more numerous. We are number. The Haitians like me, we are more numerous than the Haitians who come to fake it, who pretend they are positive, who dress nice to boo-boo in our eyes, and when they finish boo-booing in our eyes, they pretend they are éclairé. They tell us it's organic eggs from Costco. But then they boo-boo in our eyes. But they're supposed to be éclairé because they're buying organic eggs from Costco. So we're going to let them boo-boo in our eyes because they're éclairé. They're supposed to be the superstars. We're going to let them destroy us. When you look at the things that the children of these famous Haitians are doing to our own communities. If you remember that girl that used to be called Tia Avril, she has to keep going in her way. This girl was supposed to be the daughter of a famous Haitian as well. And when you looked at the destruction she did to herself, the destruction she did to herself, where she is no longer here with us. And when you look at the soul of that young lady, and I had spoken to her, her soul was such a beautiful soul. But she was caught up in so much destruction because of the zen. Because of the zen that we have in our community, we cannot put our heads together to build big businesses. We are too consumed with the zen. Every time you have a group of Haitians who get together to create a business together, guess what happens? Within 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, zepete, the businesses go down. We cannot keep breaking down our community bond so we can be entertained by the fools. We're going to have to find better forms of entertainment. Because when you look at the African American people, that is exactly what their leaders did to them. So when it came down to real life, and the African American people were losing territory in Georgia, the government came and attacked their territory. Where was Oprah? Where was Farrakhan? Where was Jesse Jackson? Where was Al Sharpton? Where was all these leaders who say they are for the African American people? And that's what I'm showing you. All these fools, you see, they pretend they are for the Haitian people. They're bringing you negative habits to your community. They're teaching your daughters, your cousins, your nieces, they're teaching you how to be a better bousin, what to wear as a minor bousin, because I don't see any of you as major bousin. They're teaching you how to be minor whores. But what good are they doing for the community but breaking down our finances, our community riches? Because they want it. Every time they finish coming with a zin, oh, me bo gres cochon pote pou passe nan diolou, and they call it lipstick. They call it fa. Every time they finish with the zin, they bring you some minor product to buy. They ask you to buy the garbage, the trash, the rubbish. Every time they finish destroying your mental, every time they finish destroying the bond that we share with each other, with the zin, they bring you minor rubbish, and they ask you to buy it. It's time for us to shut those Haitian niggas down. Haitians are very good with abusing one another. We knew it. Because when we had Makut, we already knew what black on black crimes feel like. We know what it feels like to have black on black terror. We know those things. We know. The one thing that's keeping the African American people down right now is their inability to separate from corrupt leadership. They keep wanting to uplift Oprah. They keep wanting to uplift Farrakhan. They keep wanting to uplift Jesse. When Jesse does something great, they all live vicariously through the corrupt leaders, but we don't got to. What we got to do is to pay attention to our land, pay attention to the country we call Haiti, because these people, they called distraction. They call that they are distracting us. Yesterday, I saw a Haitian woman dressed in boot short, mimicking another Haitian woman. For the 30 minutes that I watched it, it was distractive. It was distraction. But am I willing to watch that woman again and again just for distraction, just for laughter, when her behaviors and all of those behaviors combined? It's not just her behavior. It's all of the behaviors combined are destroying my community. Am I going to tolerate? No. I'm going to shut her down. It's time for us to block those people. Block them so that they don't even come on our timeline. When you see these people come on your timeline with the Z, if it's the Z channel that comes on your timeline, block it. And that's the solution I'm suggesting. If you going down your timeline and you see somebody else share the Z, you don't have to block your friend. Block the Z channel. It's time for us to block the Ralph Douce, block the Timiel, block the Blonde D, block the Maricena, block the Duchesse, block the Massissi, block all of them. Block them. Block the Pasteur, block the Tifi Pasteur, block the Mascompa, block the Tissi Wogosi, block all of them. Bloquez yo sur réseaux sociaux non. Le nou moun sa yo, bloquez yo. Block those people. I'm asking Haitians like me. I'm talking to Haitians like me. Because I know Haitians like me, we are far more numerous. When you see those people come down your timeline, click on their profile and block. You will never see them. Like even if a friend of yours share them, you won't see them anymore. Let's start blocking these people. So the people who share them, they will not expose us to the rubbish. Because we know that every community has rubbish. But we are hoping that you can keep your rubbish in your house. Keep your rubbish in your house. Tout moun gen mauvais défaut, we keep it in our house. Keep the rubbish in your house. Don't come and destroy a community with the rubbish you have in your house. If you have a rubbish in a community, drag it back in your house. So that way we can start respecting you again. Because our goal is to respect every decent Haitian. But when you're not a decent Haitian, when you're just a third world Haitian nigga, we have no respect for you. Let's start blocking these people. Block them. Retire un visage nou. Retire un figi nou. Let's start shutting down those miserable Haitians. Let me tell you something else before I go. Because I'm going. Let me tell you something else. Moitié nan Haïtien sa yo malade. Yo gen maladie nerf. Yo pa ka rete san yo pa fezen. I promise you. Moitié, half of these Haitian bitches, they are sick hoes. They have nervous conditions. They cannot live without the Zen. The Zen makes them feel valuable. It makes them feel worthy because without the Zen, they are nothing. They are nothing. Those are the thieves of our community. These people can take one word and turn it into something negative. These people can take one action and turn it into a cyclone de négativité. On pluie. On la valasse de négativité. Watch your social media. Your social media, c'est la voix du peuple. This is our voice as a community. This is our image as a community. Shut down the Haitian niggas. Shut down those third world rubbish, destroyers of progress, enemies of the people, enemies of our ancestors. That's what they are. And we don't know if these people are not CIA. We don't know that. Because when it was time to destroy the African American community, it was those people who pretended they were leaders. They were not leaders. They were CIA members. These people who pretended they were doing Zen, they were not comedians. They were CIA members. So how do we know? Because these Haitians, they have profile. They've been hanging out with white people for a long time. So how do we know that your little niece is not a CIA operation from your side? How do we know that? Because all we know is that she's destroying the community. All we know is that she's destroying businesses. All we know, the other day I'm watching this woman, Samuna. And Samuna is saying to you how this other woman took posters from her movie premiere and destroyed them. I mean, how can you just imagine you doing a move from here and another woman is going around destroying your posters, destroying your business. We have been destroying each other's money. We have been destroying each other's wealth. When you do that, you destroy the community's wealth. You destroy the community's money. And then the same people who cause those destructions, and then we see them coming with their own bullshit logic, their own bullshit products, asking us to buy it. After they finish destroying, they come up with their own bullshit program, their own bullshit concert, and they ask us to come to it. Do you understand why we got to shut down these Haitians? They are destroying our communal value. And just like these leaders destroy the African American people, just like that, these people are going to finish destroying, because we already started. The Haitian people, we already niggas destroyed. So next thing you know, people who are just like me, they're going to turn into destructive people as well. So I'm speaking to Haitians like me. Haitians like me, not you, who's already in the corruption of the Zen. We need to shut you down. We need to start blocking you when we see you in the timeline, because we don't want to see you never no more. We don't want to see you. I'm inviting all of you to join me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is The Haitian Voice. Vin joindre moi sur YouTube, abonnez-moi sur YouTube, chaîne moi sur YouTube, c'est La Voix Haitienne, The Haitian Voice. Ok, m'a dit nous partager si nous voulez. Depuis m'ka partager à un grand monde, moi réussi. My ideal goal is always to share with at least one person. Because if I can speak to one person who can share with another, my job is done. And I can see that I did that today. I thank you who listened. Again, don't forget to join me on YouTube. And don't forget to shut down those third world Haitian niggas. We don't need them in our community. We don't need them. We don't need them. Even if they make us laugh for 1 hour, we cannot compromise a lifelong damage for 1 hour of laughter. All right, people, have a wonderful weekend. Cheers to the freaking weekend. I'm having a ball with my life. I'm not in love yet, but I'm in the progress of loving. So it's always a wonderful feeling to live, I guess, to live with the energy of love and share love, you know, and I'm positive I'm only having such a good time because I was already a happy person. I'm sure that if I was a miserable person before then happiness wouldn't be so close to me. Happiness wouldn't be living such a happy life with me, you know. So I advise you to drop the zen, drop the negativity, gravitate to the goodness in you. If you cannot find the goodness in you, find it in me and support me.